So this morning I was standing in the kitchen. It was about 7:30 a.m. My family had just started waking up, getting up and getting ready. It's a Sunday today, but still things to be done. So I'm standing in the kitchen and I've got my jumper on, hoodie up, headphones on, right, making my breakfast. And I was watching a YouTube video by a guy named Dami BTS. And I can't exactly remember what the video was about, like what he was talking about at the time, or what the video was called. But it was from a few months ago. And it gets to a point where he starts talking about how he used to be like underrated and starts telling this sort of story. And then he gets to a point where he starts talking about how he's now two and a half years into his journey, and he had reached on a certain level of following and blah, blah, blah. And then he starts talking about how if you are just beginning your journey, even if you're a year or two into your journey, you can't afford to not be working. He said, if you have the same goal I am, why are you not outworking me? He said, you should be working harder than I am, because I'm already 2 years into the journey. I already have this many followers, this many subscribers, right? He said, why are you being outworked? You should be outworking me. This was, he was saying this. And I completely agree. And so multiple times today, since then, I've asked myself, why am I being outworked? Because I guarantee you, there's other people out there who are working a lot harder than I am, doing a lot more than I am. So far today, there has been probably 2 hours at least that I didn't take advantage of. Between getting up at 4 a.m, leaving for work at 8:30, then working 9 until, I was supposed to work 9 till 4, but the weather was terrible, so I got sent home, and I got sent home at 12. And then I've been home, I had lunch, and so I was back ready to go by about 1:30. It's now 3:39. And so between probably those, I'd say 5 to 6 hours I've had free so far today, there's probably been an hour and a half to 2 of those hours that I didn't take advantage of. And throughout those times, I've asked myself, why am I being outworked? And when I ask myself that, when I call myself out, I get back to work. But if you actually think about it, like, why are you being outworked? If you are beginning your journey, if you are trying to catch up to people who are much more successful than you, if you're trying to win in any way, why are you being outworked? How are you going to be number one if you're not working the hardest? If you're not giving it your all, you won't win. Now I'm almost 2 years into my content journey, and I still have much more work to do. I've only got a few hundred subscribers on a couple of accounts. I've got multiple accounts with less than 100 subscribers or followers. I have a lot of work to do. This is just the beginning. So I can't afford to be outworked. And it's not outworked because there's always going to be someone working harder than you. But just the idea of asking yourself, why am I being outworked? Because there is always going to be someone else out there working harder than you. So if you can strive to work harder, strive to get done what needs to be done, strive to take it into your own hands to actually achieve your goals, stop just waiting for time to pass. I used to have this belief where I would hold myself to a certain standard, so every day I'd do something, and so I would just wait for time to go by, thinking I'd do something so things would happen after a long enough amount of time. But then I realized I was doing nothing anyway, so the time passing was just wasted time. So what I did was I had to start taking action now. You have to start working now. There is no time to wait. There's no time to start next week, start tomorrow, start next year. You have to start now because you are being outworked. There's people who started far below you who are now far ahead of you. So I want you to ask yourself now and or every other time where you feel yourself slipping, when you feel the flow state slipping, when you feel yourself being lazy or avoiding the hard work, why am I being outworked? Because when you ask yourself this, you call yourself out. You stop what you're doing and your brain thinks about, okay, I'm being lazy. Maybe you're not being lazy. Maybe you're just not reaching your full potential. And you just have to ask yourself that to sort of give yourself a little extra push you need to then be in a position to work harder, to reach your potential. So, why are you being outworked? Why am I being outworked? I know for a fact that I'm not the hardest working person at my age doing what I'm doing. And there's people who are outworking me. But every time I've asked myself this so far, which has just been today, multiple times, I've started working harder. Ask yourself this. If you're interested in joining a community of young men who think like this, who want to become great, who want to improve their life, want to become a better version of themselves via self-improvement, routines, habits, and all sorts of other stuff, check out the link in my channel description. That will lead you to my paid school community. Other than that, have an amazing day. If you liked the video, if you enjoyed the video, if you learned something, if you felt motivated, whatever it is, if you got anything from this video, please do leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment what your goal is for the rest of 2025. I'm interested in hearing what you guys are trying to achieve for the rest of this year. Yeah, have an amazing day. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.